In the tiny kingdom of Glaucon, long ago, lived a wise and noble king. The king ruled his people with great kindness, and the people in turn loved the king and lived in peace. The king built a great tower with 4 fine bells hanging high in the rafters. Fastened to each bell was a long rope that reached almost to the ground.
My people, these beautiful bells are your bells, but they must never be rung except in times of trouble. When you despair, ring 1 bell for hope. When you and your neighbor argue, ring 2 bells for peace. When someone despises you, ring 3 bells for love. When your heart is heavy with sorrow, ring 4 bells for joy. Then the judges will come together at once and give you justice. The bells are for all of you, both rich and poor, old and young. Let even the least among you, the youngest child, toll the bells in times of trouble. For long after I am gone, a tiny child will come who will be a great new king. He will bring you salvation.
Throughout the years, the people rang the bells many times. Peace and justice prevailed, and the tiny kingdom prospered. In time, the new king died without his loving guidance. The people began to choir ceaselessly. Even the judges could not make peace. The bells rang continuously, driving everyone crazy. At last, the ropes were almost worn out. The lower strands unraveled and broke. The ropes became so short that only the tallest people could ring them. Finally, the ropes disintegrated, and the great tower fell silent. The tower bells became the stuff of legend, an ancient fable repeated to every child in remembrance of better times. The people grew bitter and afraid. Their hearts were heavy with sorrow, and they longed for a new king. one night, a stranger camel caravan approached the tiny kingdom. The caravan bore 3 wise men carrying precious treasures from distant lands. They stopped at the kingdom gate.
Halt! Who goes there?
We are 3 wise men from the east who have traveled many miles from distant lands in search of a new king. Do you know where he is?
We have no king, and we don't allow strangers to enter our kingdom. Go away.
Weary from their journey, the wise men groaned in a great sigh of despair. Suddenly a single bell tolled through the chill of the night air.
Do you hear what I hear? It is the bell of hope, as told in ancient legend. Who is this king whom you seek?
He is a tiny child who is a great king, as promised long ago. A star has led us to this place in search of him. With the light of hope rekindled in his heart, the gatekeeper joined the caravan as the camel bells rang. They walked through the streets. Frightened townspeople hid behind locked doors.
Walking through the streets in a camel caravan, following the star that shines upon the land. We hear a distant bell that rings out loud and clear, caroling the news. Do you hear what we hear? Oh, ring the bell, ring the bell, ring it loud and clear. Tiny King, hope you'll bring. Baby, he is here. Oh, ring the bell, ring the bell, ring it loud and clear. Oh, I hope he brings to us. Do you hear what we hear? The promised King is near.
As the caravan rounded a dark corner, it encountered a town guard making his nightly rounds.
Halt! Who goes there?
We are 3 wise men from the east who have traveled many miles from distant lands in search of a new king. Do you know where he is?
We have no king here, and why did the gatekeeper let you enter our kingdom?
I heard the bell of hope, as told in an ancient legend. Maybe these men will lead us to the promised king.
Are you crazy? That is a fairy tale. I'll lock you in the old tower and throw away the key.
Suddenly 2 bells sounded through the chill of the night air.
Do you hear what I hear?
I heard it. It's the ringing of the bells of peace.
Come, join us on our journey to find the newborn king.
The growing caravan continued through the town. After a short distance, it came upon an old inn. One of the wise men knocked at the door, and the innkeeper angrily responded,
Who goes there?
We are 3 wise men from the east who have traveled many miles from distant lands in search of a new king. Do you know where we might find him?
We have no king, and I don't allow strangers to lodge at my inn. Only relatives of our kingdom stay here. I run a law-abiding establishment, and I hate strangers. Guards, Take them to the tower and lock them up.
Arrest these foreign gentlemen, you know who they are. Arrest them quick, but kind them not and travel from afar. They need a shrink and camel sing, I'll tell you what I think. They are three strange strangers, lock them up to the tower, take them, lock them up. Arrest these foreign gentlemen, do you know who they are? Arrest them quick, but kind them now, travel from afar. They need a string of camels, sing, I'll tell you what we think. They are three crazy strangers, lock them up to the tower, take them, lock them up.
Suddenly 3 bells tolled through the chill of the night air.
Do you hear what I hear? It is the ringing of the bells of love, as told in ancient legend.
The star reappeared, shining like a beacon upon the old tower. The wise men and the caravan of townspeople entered it, and there they found Joseph and Mary and the infant Jesus. They knelt and worshipped the child, presenting him with his treasures of gold, frankincense, and the myrrh. As the wise men bowed in reverence, the kingdom was reborn with a joyous pealing of 4 bells. They told the glad of the news of the birth of a new king who would banish their sorrows and give them peace. As gospel of salvation rang through the land, there was the sound of 1,000 wishing door locks. People sprang from their houses into the narrow streets, escaping from the dark night of fear into a glorious new dawn. It was the dawn of a peaceable kingdom ruled by Jesus, who is the King of Kings. He came as a special gift from God, a gift of hope, peace, love, and joy. And he came as a tiny child for us, as a wise king long ago had promised. A tiny child will bring you salvation. So ring the news throughout the land, Jesus Christ is born.